Obviously, this week has been a bit of moving and shaking when it comes to Liverpool. Outgoings, incomings as well. Today it's officially the day where Trent Alexander-Arnold becomes a Real Madrid player, with Real agreeing with Liverpool to pay around 10 million euros to get him out of his contract early so that he can be a part of their FIFA Club World Cup plans. But at the same time, with him out leaving the club, Liverpool have brought in Jeremie Frimpong as his replacement from Bayer Leverkusen for around 35 million euros on what is a 5-year deal. So, what do you make of Frimpong? Are you looking forward to seeing him in the Liverpool shirt? Is he going to be just as good as Trent?
Well, him and Conor Bradley are going to fight for that right-back position, which is a good thing, competition. He's lightning quick. I mean, the standout feature is he's electric. Direct. He's got a decent goal record, and he's going to be a viable option for Slot. That fee is not big for him. That's Liverpool have done these between 30 and 40 million. They've done a number of them over the years, and they've paid out. Obviously, you look at Salah. He was, I think, around 35, 40 when they bought him. But he's versatile, as in he can be a wing back and he can be a fullback. I think that's the strength of him, is that it will allow fullbacks are massive now, aren't they? Whether they call them fullbacks or wing backs, even you look at people like Nunes, Crystal Palace, who plays in the wing-back position, that area of the pitch now is fundamental. If you look at the Champions League final last night, the difference between the PSG wing-backs, full-backs, they make massive difference, and they're also versatile. They're not just full-backs anymore, and he fits that bill. He won't be a fullback. He'll be a flying machine that goes up and down and does doggies literally back and forth, and that's what he gives. So a great addition to the squad.
Well, I think one of the stats that shines out for him is his productivity when it comes to goals. He has registered 30 goals, 44 assists in the 190 appearances he made for Bayer Leverkusen. So you can see the benefit of why they've brought him in. Again, he might not have the best defensive skill, but it's that going forward that they have clearly targeted as something really, really important to their team.
Nat, if you think of what the best of Kyle Walker, when Kyle Walker was going up and back, and towards the end of his career, naturally he's not doing it as regularly, and that's gone under the radar slightly about City, about what Kyle Walker had become in the final year or so of his career. Still a great fullback, but he wasn't the Kyle Walker of the younger days. What He made last night was ridiculous, wasn't it? And that's what expectation is in the modern day wing-back, full-back.
Yeah. One of the things we mentioned with Dean Saunders yesterday, who was in for you, was that with the Africa Cup of Nations taking place, you're going to expect Mo Salah to miss a chunk of the Liverpool season as a result. And you mentioned the flying machine that Frimpong is. Could you see a possibility where he sort of plays in that ish Mo Salah role, because then you've got Conor Bradley as your right back?
Why not?
Which is another string to his bow.
To tell you what, Nat, you've made a really good point, because it's not really we're talking fullbacks or wing backs, we're talking wingers as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Which is incredible if you have that versatility.
But it seems to be becoming more common that we're seeing these players being able to do, fullback, wing back, winger.
Yeah, and brilliant if you can get the best
I'll give you one of my favourite fullback come wing backs of all time. I thought it was Antonio, Valencia at Manchester United.
Yes, right, okay.
When I first saw him, I thought, what a winger he was. Then I see him go to Old Trafford and he's like a fullback. And then he become a wing back come fullback. This is going back. When was Valencia? It was probably 15, 20 years ago now. Yeah, when
roughly,
he was
think.
But he was doing that a long time ago. That was one of the United's big weapons. He I don't know how long he was at Old Trafford, but it probably was about 8 years. But he progressed to be that type of player. So of course they're vital in the game if you're playing a certain way.
So Jeremie Frimpong is an in. That's been done. There's still talk of Florian Wirtz coming into Liverpool, which suggestions are that Liverpool have made an offer of around 109 million for him. This is what we here at talkSPORT understands. That has been rejected by Leverkusen because they are asking for a British record transfer fee of around 126 million for him. Liverpool, though, it seems, are still confident they can get some deal done for him. And it seems he's already agreed personal terms with the club. and has rejected moves elsewhere. Bayern Munich, one of those that were very, very interested in him. Before we get your thoughts on it, let's hear from Kevin Hatchard, our European football expert, who's been speaking about all the plus points of Florian Wirtz.
He's right up there with anybody in the Bundesliga this season in terms of winning challenges. So he will press like a demon. And that's going to be really important for Liverpool. We've seen that work rate. We've seen how important it is. And he understands it. He doesn't just run like a madman. Under Xabi Alonso, it's very targeted. It's very, you've got to get your angles of press right. You've got to go at the right time. So he gets it. He understands all that. And then you look at how he delivers. So double figures goals and assists in the league this season, double figures goals and assists in the league last season, unbeaten league and cup double for the first time in German history last season. He was a huge part of that. The kid is 22. There's a lot to like.
Crikey, you know what? Erik ten Hag comes in, doesn't he, as the manager of Bayer Leverkusen this summer, and he must be thinking, "Crikey, you're selling all my best players already." But does he excite you as well, the idea of a Florian Wirtz?
Yeah, he's a talent, a very big talent.
Do you slightly balk at the fee?
Well, look, the only thing I'd say with transfer fees, and I would never expect Liverpool to go past 100 million.
Right.
But if they've made a lot of money, and this is something that was made clear to me a number of years ago from certain chairmen that would say, and when I signed for Aston Villa, Doug Ellis said this to me, look, we've got this amount of money to spend. If we don't spend it, it will go on the tax man, so I'm spending it. And so Liverpool have made a lot of money. Without doing the transfers they did last year, Liverpool have made a lot of money in the last year or two. So the fee might go north of what I'm thinking. I thought Liverpool would never do more than 100 million at the moment, but they might go there because of the profit they've had within the club. They've made a lot of money. And then if you add on, they could sell players, which they could clearly do, to move on, that Liverpool, it might not be that big of an issue for them to go past 100 million. Yeah. Like when they went to 75 with Van Dijk and Alisson. So, hey, they're really showing their muscles, aren't they, Liverpool, now, as where they are for what they've achieved in the last year or so.
Yeah, very, very much so. But obviously a lot of the focus over the course of the last month or so has been on the departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold, which has now all been confirmed this week. Rory Jennings was on talkSPORT yesterday alongside Adeola Depot talking about Trent and that move to Spain. And it's fair to say he's not convinced he's going to be a success at Real.
If Real Madrid somehow think that they're going to solve their defensive frailties by signing...
That's not what they're bought him for, though, is it?
I don't know if we know him very well, and I don't know if the continent know quite how pronounced his defensive inability
is.
Yeah. He is. If we're totally honest about it.
Think about the wingers in Spanish football.
They'll tear him up.
I mean, and by the way, they go at you.
Also,
they don't cut in like our wingers. They go out on the outside.
Think about the Champions League final against Real Madrid in Paris. The only player in the world, the only man in the world who didn't know where Vinicius Jr. was Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose responsibility it was to mark him. Liverpool lost that cup final because Trent Alexander-Arnold lost his man.
And by the way, as well, the Spanish press. I mean, we think the press over here can be...
Well, Real Madrid fans...
brutal.
Real Madrid, if he thinks this was bad, they'll have their white hankies out in no time.
What's their newspaper?
The Marker.
The Marker, that literally absolutely goes to your head if you play bad.
Yeah, but look, there is no doubt that he's a wonderful footballer.
He's a fantastic
There is no doubt that he's a wonderful footballer. And there is a chance that this is going to work out for him. But ultimately, what he's turned his back on is total and utter legacy. An iconic status at Liverpool. He's turned his back on all that to become a very rich, forgotten Galactico.
I mean, you always expect the ridiculous from Rory Jennings. I mean, it's a bit harsh to already suggest that he's going to be a flop. Is clearly what he's saying there. And I certainly think he's completely wrong by saying, did the continent know about his defensive inability? No, they don't watch any of these players in the Premier League. I mean, what a ridiculous statement to make. But having said that, your thoughts?
I arrive in Dublin and I'm going to go to the poker festival. I've gone off the track here, but it is a point to it.
Say, you coming back to where we're going?
And I'm going to the poker festival, and as I walk in, I hear a shout of, "Legend, legend! How you doing?" It's Rory. Rory Jennings. So, "Hey, Rory, okay?" And I said, "Not really a legend at Chelsea, as you know, Rory." Like that sort of, because I wasn't a legend at Chelsea. And I think you've got to be careful when you're working in the media. If you go, of course you can have a completely different opinion and think it might not work out. But if you're going to go down the road that Real Madrid have they done their homework or not watched him?
It's ludicrous.
I'm sorry. This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. They might get things wrong, and they might not have a great team at the moment, or as good as but they have certainly know what they're signing, right? And they obviously think he fits into the way. And I don't think Real Madrid play a certain style week in, week out, which Trent will get the ball all the time, like he did at Liverpool in attacking situations. He will create. He will make. Saying that it makes it feel like they're signing a dud.
I know.
And Trent, and they're both, Addy as well has said, look, he's a fantastic player. If you're a fantastic player, then Real Madrid are buying a player that's going to fit into what they do. I mean, we've all said that Trent defensively, but if he's being asked to be the player, the weapon that, he's played a massive part this year in Liverpool win the league. Of course,
with his passing range and everything like that, you know what you're getting, and that's what they want from him. But look, we have to carry this conversation. No, what we'll do is we'll carry this conversation over because it is really interesting. But look, this is what Rory Jennings does. He sparks a debate, so thank you for that.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.